Hey guys, I cannot believe that I am being as productive as I am right now, but I think my baby has dropped some. I don't look like it, but I feel like it, and I can breathe and I can eat, and I'm feeling really good, and I'm very excited. We got our induction scheduled. However, by the time you're seeing this, I've had my baby, so I'm really excited. Um, I'm scheduled to, I'm having an induction if you're new because I'm having high blood pressure issues. I've had it since basically I got pregnant. So they don't want him to go to full term because it could be dangerous. So I'm being induced at like 38 and a half weeks. I go in at the end of March. And so I'm very excited. Had a lot of stress yesterday. I had a full-on breakdown because some stuff changed. We switched hospitals because of an insurance thing, which is fine. It actually kind of is working out better. Everything's happening the way it's supposed to. That's what I keep telling myself. And every time something stressful happens, I'm like, you know what? If this is the worst thing to happen, that's fine. Like, if this means he's going to come out healthy, no problem, whatever, that's great. I'm going to film, I don't know what my hair's doing, whatever. I'm going to try and film a couple videos back to back today that I can get scheduled out, which would put me at 5 videos ahead, which is great. So the next time you see me, there may be like a lapse of like a week or two, just depending on how exhausted I am, how much time I have, with a newborn. But probably after this video and 2 other true crime videos I'm going to put out after this, I'll come back and just tell you guys sort of about the birth and what happened and how it went. That's my thinking. So yeah, and then get back to regularly scheduled stuff as I can. Gonna keep uploading on this channel. I finally hit 900 subscribers, which means I'm only 100 away from 1,000, which means at that point I could start monetizing my videos, which would be great and a good help for having a newborn baby. So that's going to be awesome. Very excited. So on to today's video. If you're new, I am going to be reading from notes and I'm not going to be editing right now. That's not the norm for me, but right now trying to get stuff out and preparing for a baby, that's what I'm going to have to do. So I apologize for all of my ums and all of my looking at something else other than you guys. I'm sorry, but that's what we're going to do. I've got a request today. I'm filming 2 more requests after this, and then I'm caught up on requests. If yours does not come out and you requested one, it's because I could not find information on it. So I apologize for that, but some things just kind of come up dead ends and there's not really anything there. But please leave suggestions for when I come back, because I've got videos that I would like to film and true crime stuff that, I am interested in that I'll probably do. But the suggestions help, especially if I'm like kind of brain dead and don't know what to research next. So feel free to continue leaving requests because I am about to be caught up. Today's request was from Kyra Daniels or Kira Daniels. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. I love the way you spell your name with a Y. It's really cute. But this was a request, and I really liked this one. I've got 2 videos that I'm doing today, this one included, that are very close to home for me, literally. This one took place right by MTSU, where I went to college, and I currently live about 20 minutes away from. And I'd never heard of this before, so this one's pretty interesting. Sorry about that. I just had someone come by and drop something off for me, which was really nice. So again, this is from a murder that happened right around MTSU, Middle Tennessee State University. And it is the awful murder of Laura Salmon. Now, this happened in 1984, which is probably why I hadn't heard of it, because it's a very old case. But I'll just go into it now. And again, I'm reading straight from my notes. Excuse me. I have a lot of acid reflux, so I might like accidentally burp a little bit. I really apologize for that. So, in 1984, starting off with the people who helped solve the murder, MTSU student Dan Goodwin treated his Sigma Chi fraternity little sister, Laura Salmon, to a movie 5 days before she was murdered in 1984. The memory of the attractive MTSU student still burned in his mind 16 years later when Sheriff Truman Jones assigned then Detectives Goodwin and Lieutenant Bill Sharp to investigate Salmon's unsolved murder. So he had known her and basically got assigned to her case. It was, I guess, what you could call a cold case. I don't know. That's a good question. What determines exactly a cold case? But it was an old case. He, let's see, Lieutenant Bill Sharp didn't know Salmon, but he posted her Oakland High School prom picture in his office as a constant reminder of what he was working for. For the next 6 years, I'm out of breath. Goodwin and Sharp concentrated their efforts first on solving the case by an arrest and then by prosecuting a suspect. Salmon, who worked at the deli at Kroger on South Tennessee Boulevard, which is now known as Middle Tennessee Boulevard, which lines up with the college, finished her shift the afternoon of May 31st, 1984, and planned to go swimming at her grandmother's, but sadly she never made it. Her beaten body, covered with a pair of men's jeans, was discovered that afternoon off of Twin Oak Drive, which is not far at all from the MTSU campus. Sheriff's detectives and Murfreesboro police launched an investigation. Detectives questioned her family and friends and examined the crime scene and gathered evidence. Gilly, who was, I don't know why I don't have his first name written right there. I apologize. Kyle Gilly, who was Salmon's estranged boyfriend, quickly became a primary suspect, but there was not enough evidence to charge him with the murder. Through the years, several detectives re-examined the case file. So basically at that point, they had collected as much evidence as they could and questioned as many people as they could and did not have enough evidence for an arrest, excuse me. In February of the year 2000, Jones asked Sharp and Goodwin to concentrate on solving the case after they received some new information. Other detectives picked up their caseload, freeing the pair to spend considerable time investigating the murder. And the detectives really credit those other detectives helping them with their workload. They say that there's no way that they could have solved it without the help of their other detectives. So that was really nice that they go out of their way to credit them. They began reviewing the case file, talking to Salmon's parents, Lorene Mackey and John Salmon, as well as other witnesses. They sent evidence for DNA testing that had been developed since the murder occurred. So in 84, obviously DNA testing was not really a thing. So they went back and tested. Because of the time that had passed, they found people who were very willing to talk about it, who may have been a little more afraid to talk in the beginning, and found other witnesses who didn't come forward because they waited for detectives to contact them, probably because of their relation to Laura. They assumed they would be contacted, and then it just never happened, which is to basically speak out and say, if you know something or if you have a suspicion about something, someone goes through something like this, speak up, contact them, reach out and just let them know, hey, I would like to talk to you guys if you need information. I feel I have something I can add. Sharp and Goodwin's first major break in the case came on May 31st of 2000, and that was actually the 16th anniversary of Salmon's murder, when the DNA testing showed Gilly's DNA on the jeans that were draped over Salmon's body. Goodwin said the DNA results were crucial to their case because it put Kyle Gilly at the scene of the crime. They kept building their case against Gilly with physical evidence, circumstantial evidence, and witness statements. They drove thousands of miles talking to witnesses and testing other men for DNA to sort of exclude anybody else. The detectives frequently asked Salmon's mother about names of different witnesses, Salmon's habits, so her daughter's, regular habits, or about certain incidents with her boyfriend. The mother is quoted to have said, "When they needed my assistance, they would call me because they realized I had information they didn't have access to." That helped solve the case. So basically she had an insight to their relationship that wouldn't be known to other witnesses and such. And she could verify certain witness statements, I guess. Throughout the investigation, they frequently discussed the case with Whitesell and an assistant district attorney, Paul Newman. During a trip with the detectives in 2001 to Tampa, Florida, Whitesell reviewed the case and decided they had gathered enough evidence to bring charges against Kyle Gilley. Detectives arrested Gilley in November of 2001 in his home state of Florida. Gilley was released on bond until his trial. Preliminary motions and appeals to the Tennessee Supreme Court about witnesses delayed the trial for 4 years. A circuit court convicted Gilley of first-degree murder on August 4th of 2006. Circuit Court Judge Don Ash sentenced him to a life sentence. Gilley actually appealed this conviction to the Court of Criminal Appeals, which upheld the conviction in August of 2008. They didn't even want to hear his case, basically. Goodwin and said he and Sharp were pleased with the Supreme Court decision to not hear the appeal. In his appeal, Gilley had stated, among other reasons, that he had experienced an unreasonable pre-indictment delay. The evidence was not sufficient to convict him. The judge had erred in allowing hearsay testimony of 2 witnesses, and the judge had also erred by denying a request from Gilley's attorneys to let the jury consider the deconstruction of some of the evidence. However, in the August opinion, Court of Appeals Judge James Kerwood Witt Jr., that's a long name, reviewed the issues that were raised by Gilley's attorneys. Witt stated, among other reasons, that although there was a 20-year delay, meaning 20 years between the murder and the conviction, Gilley was not prejudiced. They did not go out of their way to find evidence against him, and that the judge did not abuse his discretion in allowing evidence about bad prior acts, which was another complaint of Gilley's, basically talking about the hearsay of the witnesses and such, that witnesses were stating he was violent towards Laura. He was saying that none of that should have mattered, but it did matter. And like witness Mary Lester testified about bruises on Salmon, but she didn't see how the bruises were placed on her, so therefore she should not have testified about the bruises. But all other evidence about prior bad acts was properly admitted according to the judge. So that one would have been considered hearsay, basically. But there was so much other evidence from witnesses that it didn't matter. In his 26-page opinion, Witt reviewed the trial testimony of witnesses, including the parents of Laura, and friends who told jurors about the volatile relationship between Gilley and Salmon. Witness Shelley Davenport testified that she accompanied Kyle Gilley to Twin Oak Drive, where Gilley asked if she wanted to end up like Salmon. When she asked what happened, Davenport testified that Gilley told her, quote, she was his ex-girlfriend and he killed her. That's a quote from Davenport. Another witness, Mary Hunter Brown, testified she saw Gilley dangle Salmon over the 3rd floor stairwell and threatened to kill her. So those would not be hearsay testimonies, basically. Those are first person. They witnessed these things happening or they heard these things. So those are certain examples of ones that are properly admitted into the trial. So, yeah, Gilley is currently serving a life sentence. I don't know of his chances of parole because he's only less than 15 years into the sentence, I believe. So they wouldn't really even be looking into that yet. It's really early in the case to do so. So that is all I have for you guys in this video today. Thank you so much for the request. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button below. If you have any suggestions for videos, true crime or otherwise, please leave those in the comments below. If you want to see more videos, please subscribe. I upload new videos every Wednesday. And other than that, I will see you guys next week. Bye.